So that's my only complaint because now you're put in a situation where we're back to independence. You have to win every game. There's no longer a grace for having one loss. You're not good enough to play in the playoff with one loss.
Welcome to the Why Not Us podcast.
Let's go.
Welcome back, episode 5, Why Not Us podcast. Welcome back. It's good to be back. Thanks for carrying on without me last week. Excellent episode. So,
it's good to have you back.
Yes, yeah. Good to have the full team.
I got a lot to say this week, so I'm pretty excited. I got 2 weeks worth.
He's got 2 weeks worth just jumbled up, ready to explode.
I do.
I do have to give some shout out on that intro, man. Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty good. We're hitting it hard. We're hitting it hard in the production room right now. You know, I've had some comments about maybe underproduced here. You know, so we're doing our best.
We've had some good feedback from some people that have taken the time to listen, and we're definitely always trying to be better. So we appreciate the feedback.
Absolutely, 100%. First thing or second thing here on the agenda is we got a shout out to my mom, Melinda, for the merch. Why not?
Heck yeah.
So good.
So if anybody's interested, let us know. We can maybe hook it up, maybe have a giveaway. We may or may not have a giveaway anyway. So hit us up about that. But yeah, excited to be back for week 4 of college football. Man, I just can't believe we got to wait a whole nother week for football.
You know, it was still a good week of football. And I was talking to Gordon about this last week. I'm glad for the bye. Like, it sucks. Like, it really does. But I think for the team, it was so needed.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder how much film they got just from the Stanford game. You know, Bear didn't play much against Portland State. And obviously, I mean, that's kind of the elephant in the room is how's Bear going to do when we play. But
right.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Dad? Going into the bye week, what are they looking at from Stanford and Portland State as far as Bear goes?
Yeah, I mean, there's some film there, but it's not a ton. And we haven't thrown the ball a lot. It was interesting listening to Roderick talk about after the Stanford game when they came out the second half. He says, look, we knew Stanford offense was not that powerful. So they were conservative on purpose, didn't throw the ball downfield much. He says, we know we're going to have to do it in the future. We know he can do it. So film-wise, what ECU got is very limited, which I think is awesome. But also tells me that they have a lot of confidence in Bear that they have not had to go to yet. So that's good too.
Can I play devil's advocate on that and ask a question? Is that a cop-out for Roderick for just a tough game? To come in after having a lackluster offense, you're running nothing but screen plays, you can't protect the quarterback, to come in and say, yeah, we just didn't really try to throw that much because we're trying to – we know we're going to have to do it later. Is that a cop-out?
I just think it goes with the philosophy of Kalani and everything else. I mean, why show your hand? I guess you're up 14-0, 17-0. Why show your hand? You know you got the game in hand. Your defense is one of the best in the country. Stanford isn't even moving the ball. So I don't take it as a cop-out. I just think it was smart coaching that we're not going to show anything. We're going to keep it as close to our best as we can until we get farther down the road. So that's my take.
And when Roderick had talked to Rebel in the coordinator's corner, he mentioned that they had no film on the defense. Completely new coaching staff, completely new defense. Hawaii did not have any sort of the same matchup that we did offensively. And so he said, you know, we didn't really have a game plan for what they threw at us. And kind of to my dad's point, since we were winning the game so well, it wasn't really any need to make huge adjustments and try to throw the offense off. And so, yeah, I mean, it was vanilla. I mean, we just didn't throw the ball down the field. And I'm hoping, I'm kind of with you, Jace, I'm hoping it's not a cop-out. I'm hoping we come out to like Colorado or something, all of a sudden we throw all over the field because the playbook's open now. We're in conference play or something like that. But
it will not look good if we come out and struggle like that, because the overall feeling that you had versus Stanford was that the offense struggled. The offense line struggled. We couldn't move the ball. And so that's where I get a tad bit skeptical with the comments, because yes, I see it. Yes, it makes sense. And as a coach, you want to do that. But I also look at it as, an easy way to just say, yeah, we're just not trying to show our hand when you struggled. Like, it looked like a struggle fest.
Well, so let me throw this score out to you to see if this changes your perspective. Okay. Boston College 20, Stanford 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair I don't think Stanford's as bad. I don't think Stanford's as bad as we're making it out to be. We've been comparing Stanford to UCLA, and UCLA is horrible.
Horrible.
Don't get me started on that.
Every week that goes on, we're just proving how bad Utah is.
They're not good. So and this is one of those moments where you're setting yourself up for a clip, because I'm out here saying that they suck, and then who knows what's going to happen in the Holy War rivalry and all that stuff. But Utah is not good. They are not worthy of where they're at in the AP poll. It's ridiculous.
Until proven otherwise. But at the current moment, there's no reason for them to be ranked 20th and whatever they're going to be ranked coming out this morning.
But I will say this: the one thing I thought about watching the Utah game, because obviously I had a vested interest in Wyoming and my underdog pick, is I wish the one thing that BYU did, or that Kalani did, was what Kyle Whittingham does all the time. For those who did not watch the Utah game, they're looking at that end score and thinking that they dominated Wyoming in great fashion, because they didn't kneel the ball with 1:45 left in the game and they went and scored.
Yeah.
They have the killer mentality. I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know what, but
that's on purpose. It's Kyle Whittingham. Well, and to your point, somebody wakes up in the morning and they see the score and they think that, oh, wow, Wyoming, horrible, Utah dominated. And that was 3-0 at halftime in that game. Utah did not dominate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Utah did not dominate that game. So your point, Jace, I agree but disagree. I just think I don't want to be like Utah. I don't want to be associated with that mentality of we're going to take and rub you in the dirt. Karma will come back and bite them in the butt at some point in time. When you do that kind of stuff, it comes back around. I like being a little more sportsman than what they do. But you're right. Yeah, you look at that score, like going, oh my gosh, they crushed them. But minute 45 in the game, most teams are kneeling down, but no, not Utah. They're going to run up the score, so the pollsters will vote them up.
Is it fair to say that 7 point, though, that they did is going to help them in the AP poll?
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about our score. It's, what was it, 27-3?
27-3.
Yeah. So we have a holding penalty and just a no call where it should have been a touchdown. So that's 8 more points on the board. If that score's 35-3, I think we're in the top 25. I think 7-8 points makes a difference.
Makes a huge difference. And so I whether it's sportsmanship or not, I gotta give them credit for doing, in my opinion, what's almost necessary to try to give some validation in the AP poll. And there's a lot of rhetoric going on right now about how stupid the AP poll is, how we shouldn't give it as much love as it is. But at the end of the day, it sets you up for the college football playoff at the end of the year. And we've got to give our team a shot.
Yeah, somewhat. But when thank heavens the college football playoff is its own poll. But unfortunately, people do a bias when they see that. So you're correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that's it's just absolutely unbelievable. This is a good segue into this because this has been hot on my mind.
Pop off.
But have you guys seen the clip? I mean, I hate to throw under a bus, but her name's out there already. Haley Sawyer's her name. She's one of the pollsters for the AP Top 25 and did an interview talking about how she puts her ballot together. And it's just her talking in circles about how, well, I don't want to go into my logic and how I go about it and da-da-da-da. Well, the reason it got brought to light is that after USF beat Florida, she moved Florida up 2 spots and didn't rank USF.
Yep.
So it's painfully obvious that she has no clue. Didn't even look at a scoreboard before she mailed in her ballot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I just can't believe. I mean, it's a complete farce at this point. I mean, Utah being 20, BYU not being in the top 25. You got people just mailing in ballots. I mean, how many other people just wake up and mail in their ballot and they don't look at the score?
That's what I was going to say. She's just kind of the face of probably the deeper rooted problem, which is there's probably 20 other people that are just like her that don't really watch the games, don't care about the games, but their votes matter. And those votes make a difference. And yeah, it's a problem.
No, for sure. Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, you look at, I went back and looked at the top 25 scores this week, and so you head scratcher, like you look at as South Carolina that was ranked number 11, Vanderbilt beats them by 20. Mm-hmm. So is South Carolina worthy of 11? And again, the polls early in the year I think are not, well, we all know they're not accurate at all. But to your point, how many more do we have out there that are like her, that are just throwing somebody out there because, it's Alabama, they need to be a top 5 team because they are every year, or whatever else?
No, agreed. The only complaint, I said this during the week, the only real complaint I have about it is last year, if we would have started the season, BYU would have started the season in the top 25 or higher in the top 25, the Kansas loss would have not killed us into getting the at-large spot in the playoff, because you had SMU and Indiana get in to the playoff.
They were just higher on the ranks, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Indiana should not have been in there. And
no.
So that's my only complaint, because now you're put in a situation where we're back to independence. You have to win every game. There's no longer a grace for having one loss. You're not good enough to play in the playoff with one loss because you don't get the buffer of being ranked already.
Right.
So
I echo that. Like, I could care less about the AP poll overall. Like, I don't care where BYU lines up week 3. Like, do I think that parts of it are annoying because it is a metric that's used and determining whether or not people are good or not? And you see, we keep using Utah as an example, but it's a great example. This team that is just getting so much love in the votes when it's not justified. And so we have this metric in place that gets annoying, but at the end of the day, the only reason I care about it, the only reason is for what Houston just said, which is towards the college football playoff time, when that becomes a reality and they start ranking based off of that, you've got to have a good head start on the AP poll to give yourself some grace if a loss were to happen, because it's unrealistic to expect an undefeated season. It really is. As much as we all want it, it's not going to happen.
Well, who's done it in the last 20 years?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But then you punish a team for losing one game, because they didn't start in the top 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the other dynamic with that is when you look at those ranked games, all eyes are on the ranked games. So you get more viewers there, and you're not seeing the teams that aren't ranked that might be good. I think there's a couple in our conference that are pretty good teams that aren't getting much love, like Baylor and TCU. I think are pretty quality programs. Are they top 25? I don't know, but nobody's got them on the radar because they're not up there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so we'll see. Obviously, the new ones will come out after this, so we'll have to see how that goes on the next week's episode. But be really interested to see where they place Utah, where they place BYU. I mean, I don't think we'll move, considering you had a bye, but we'll see where it's going forward. But man, I'm so sick of getting underrated, and I'm sick of watching teams get ranked that shouldn't be. I mean, because this is the last thing I'll say about it, and then we can move on. But because if it comes down to BYU Utah in a Big 12 championship game or something like that, and Utah gets the loss somewhere along the way, wins the championship game, they'll get in the playoff. If BYU had the exact same record, won the Big 12, had a loss, or didn't win the Big 12, had a loss, and they don't get in, and that is the difference right there.
Yep.
And so far the schedules don't match up. I mean, UCLA is. I mean, the Big Sky just reached out for UCLA.
They're awful.
They're awful. Big
Sky said no, thank you.
Yeah, they said no, thank you. We don't want UCLA, and they're 27 fans. I mean, so Stanford is a far superior opponent, and I just think I don't know. We'll let it play out. We'll let it play out on the field. But
yeah, one last comment, and then we'll let it go. But so here's where you'll see the pollster bias today when the polls come out. Is UCF will drop down to number 50 ranked after they lost to Miami after having 2 great wins. They'll sinks so low you won't even be able to see them on the horizon. So, because it's USF.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, it's true.
Anyway.
Good times. They don't know, but they're about to find out.
Yes.
All I can keep saying to keep my head, in check.
100%. 100%. Well, let's head over a little bit and talk about we'll just talk about BYU kind of through the first two games. I've got some stats I want to throw at you and we can talk about, and then we'll look ahead to East Carolina, which is coming up on Saturday at East Carolina. So first thing, and this is Stanford and Portland State, but Stanford might be a good team. So we got to take these stats for what they're worth. But right now, currently, LJ Martin is averaging 9.3 yards a carry. So homeboy's a walking first down, pretty much. That was good enough for 10th in the nation rushing as of last week. So obviously we'll have some updated stats going into this week. But defense is number 1 in points per game. Have allowed 1.5 points in the first two games. And then overall team defense at BYU is number 2 in the nation. So yeah, thoughts on those stats after 2 games?
It's pretty freaking awesome. I mean, you got to keep in mind again. I'm giving Stanford a little love, but they're not a top tier program in the P4. So I guess my thought is with that is you can't have it both ways. Because I'm looking at ECU, which we'll get to in a minute. Their stats look pretty gaudy with the pass game, but who have they played? So I got to use the same logic with BYU. Those stats are pretty gaudy for the defense, but who have we played? Although when you just don't let anybody get any yards rushing, I don't care who you're playing. When you have negative yards rushing, that just does not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people are making comments about it too, like other teams, other coaches, people that don't even watch BYU football that I know that are coming up and saying, holy cow, how about that defense? And so, they're getting love and recognition, which is well-deserved regardless of who you play because of how dominant they are. So, yeah, my thoughts overall with everything is, in a nutshell, is want to see some offensive play coming up for sure, because that's still such a big question mark for us. But there is absolutely no question BYU's defense is elite.
Yeah, I agree. And you throw it back to the Colorado game last year at the bowl game, they had 19 attempts for 2 yards. I mean, so the last 3 games effectively we've only allowed, 20 yards rushing? Or less than that probably, but somewhere 20 or less, which is
I think 19.5 or something crazy like that. But to your point, you go back to Colorado. Colorado was, one of the darlings of the year last year, and we held them to less than 20 yards rushing. What'd you say, 2 or 6 yards or something like that?
2 yards is all on 19 attempts. I mean, that's insane. I mean, you got to factor in the sack yards there too, but that's part of the defense. I mean,
right.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see how they are moving forward. So the one other stat line comparison I wanted to throw out here, since we always every week we're going to be talking about the true freshman quarterback over and over again. So I'm just going to throw out a comparison with Jake Retzlaff last year for 2 games, and then Bear through 2 games. So Jake was 60% completion, 550 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 INTs, and a fumble. So 3 turnovers through 2 games. He did have quite a few yards and touchdowns. But Bear is 63%, 272 yards, and 3 touchdowns with 0 turnovers. So to me, it's right on par where we thought we'd be at. We're not losing anything in the quarterback room up to this point through 2 games. Similar opponents, FCS, and then another tougher opponent. And I think Bear is doing just fine. And that's with half a game.
That's what I was going to say is I don't know how much Jake played the first game, but you take into account that Bears only played technically a game and a half, and to A-Rod's point, if we're gonna believe that, that's a game and a half of a very boxed in offensive play calling versus it did not feel like that when Jake was playing. Rightfully, I think, because SMU was our second game last year. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you're playing a better team, but they weren't ranked at that point, if I remember correctly. It's still an unranked opponent at that time. they later on came to show that SMU was legit and deserved a ranking. But from the outside looking in, it is an unranked FCS opponent, obviously, and then an unranked Power 4 team. And Jake, yeah, I stand by what I said earlier, man. We're going to see an improvement in the quarterback room, and I believe that. And it is the turnover game is going to be the key.
Yep. So yeah, I think that turnover number right there to me is the biggest stat line right there. 3 turnovers through 2 games for Jake, and 0 for Bear, and he's taking great care of the ball.
So smart, yeah. Outside of the very first play where we almost turned it over, I was like, "Oh crap!"
But it wasn't a bad decision. That's the thing. Like he's
no.
made some throws that have been questionable, but none of them have been a bad decision.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, well,
Very
so
interesting.
yeah, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and look forward to East Carolina. So the best opponent I think they've had so far is NC State. They did beat Coastal this week, if memory serves me correct. So
Yeah.
that's a good conference win for them. So NC State's really the only Power 4 team they played, and they did okay. I mean, they moved the ball well. The stat that jumps out to me is they only rushed for 30 yards. So considering BYU's defense, I just don't see them being able to run the ball, and we're going to have to lean heavily on our pass defense. So, what do you guys think about them getting kind of their first test against a pass-heavy team?
That'll be the test, because I'm pretty confident we're going to stuff the run. So the test will be, can we slow down a team that is going to rely on the pass probably 95% of the game. But with that being said, in the past, when Jay Hill has made a team one-dimensional, it's been pretty darn good for us. Go back to Colorado in the bowl game. He made Colorado one-dimensional, threw in different looks at the QB, and Sanders didn't even know what was coming at him. So it'll be a good test, but if that's any indication, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I can echo that. I mean, I was looking just to make sure my information was correct. But NC State, I mean, is 3-0 so far. So it was a 7-point game against NC State for ECU. It was 24-17 loss. But then NC State went on to beat Virginia and Wake Forest as well after that. So NC State is, in theory, a really decent team, and East Carolina held tight with them and only lost by 7 points. And so to Gordon's point, yes, I think we are going to make them extremely one-dimensional. We're going to hold them to sub 50 rushing yards, in my opinion. And so when you force a team into the passing game, the hope is that you have some turnovers and you get some picks and force the quarterback to make some mistakes. And with the emphasis that we have on pass rushing, I think we're going to see that.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder, we were talking about the offense earlier, I wonder how much of the defensive playbook has not been kind of got into or opened up yet. Mm-hmm. I know Jay has made comments about the Colorado game last year that, they gave, I don't know how many looks, 10 or 15 looks to Shador in the first half and then never repeated one after that. So, I mean, the bag is deep on the playbook for the defense, and I think we're going to see a lot of heavy pass rush. And, I mean, we got a lot of pressure on Stanford with 4 or 5 guys. I mean, Jack Kelly and Glasgow were insane getting into the backfield. So, yeah, you make a team one-dimensional, the pass rush is going to be very heavy. And I just don't know at this point for the next few games that there's an offense that can even move the ball on us. So if we don't turn the ball over and we keep playing the way we're playing, I just think we're just going to out physical teams.
Yeah, they're just not going to score.
Yeah.
What was it Bronco Mendenhall said back in the day, if he was able to score 24 points or something like that, then he had the likelihood of winning, the game. I can't remember exactly what number it was, but it makes me feel like if we can score 21 points a game, we have a really good chance of winning, just because I don't think our defense is going to allow that many points. We're that good.
I agree. I agree 100%. Well, yeah, I mean, there's only so much we can talk about. I just need a game. I need a game already.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the game. It is true. It is true. I think ECU has a new coach this year too. So they're under a new coach. So you take that into account as well, that they're still probably trying to find an identity. So kudos to them for going 2-1 and hanging tight with a decent NC State team. So you got to give them credit. Definitely don't want to overlook them and fall into that trap by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. So. And it's at their place, you know. I think their stadium holds around 50,000 people, and it gets pretty rowdy there. And so it'll be Bear's first away test, which will be interesting to see how he handles that. But yeah, I'm with you, Houston. I just need a football game.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, still so hard to know. I mean, looking at East Carolina, I mean, they beat Coastal Carolina 38-0, but Coastal Carolina's 1-2. I mean, Coastal Carolina, I don't know what they've got. So it's so hard to know.
I hope Coastal loses every game.
East Carolina don't. Yeah, well, I agree. I don't disagree with that at all. But, you know, the quarterback had a pretty good game for East Carolina for about 300 yards. But that's not – when you're 38 points, 300 yards. Anyway, it's just hard to know, you know. Yep. And from what I heard, that East Carolina and North Carolina State game is a rivalry, in-state rivalry type thing. So the emotions were high, and that always plays a factor in those games.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
I think we'll come out defensively and dominate the game, and if we open up the playbook at all, I think we'll have another dominating game. So. Yeah, excited about that. A lot of good Big 12 games coming up this week. We finally got a lot of conference play, so I think we'll head straight over into our pick'ems.
Let's go.
All right.
Dude, that production is looking good.
Hey, we've been going hard in the paint this week, getting the production up. So, all right, Dad. Well, we'll send it over to you like always for the pick'ems, and then give us your pick for the game. I'll go, and then we'll send it to Jace.
All righty. So we will do that. Do you want to? And then when we're done, we want to review last week after we go through this week's picks.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do these picks, and then we'll review.
Alrighty. So this week on the docket for our pick'ems, we got Texas Tech at Utah. That should be a really good game. Yeah. So for me, this game is one of those that Texas Tech has put up a lot of numbers, but they haven't played anybody.
Yeah.
So it'll be a true test to see. I mean, as much as I don't want to say it, I'm going to say Utah's defense is actually pretty good. So if Texas Tech can come into Utah and put up some offensive numbers, Utah will actually have to play a team that's quality. So with all that being said, I think that what I've seen so far, I'm going to give Texas Tech the nod here. I'm going with Texas Tech in that game, even though it's a Utah.
I like it. Yeah, the factor there is, I mean, Utah has a good defense. They had a good defense last year. BYU and Utah were 1-2 in the Big 12 in terms of defense. It's going to be at home. It's going to be tough to move the ball, but I think Texas Tech is the first real quality opponent they've had. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, but I think Texas Tech playmakers are going to win a close one in the end, so I'm going to take Texas Tech.
Yeah, we talked early on in the season the amount of money Texas Tech spent in the transfer portal and NIL and all that stuff, and so you see the fashion that they've won. I mean, 2 60-point games, and then I think they scored like 45 or something like that against Oregon State. Not obviously, to Gordon's point, not the best teams to play, but they're putting on a lot of points, and they've probably got a rhythm going on. So going up against Utah's defense, every bone in my body wants to say Texas Tech's going to win this by 40 plus, but I think I'm with Houston. It's going to be a close one, but I got Texas Tech coming out on top.
Like it.
There's no bias in that pick at all.
No, not at all, right?
None.
Don't know that you will ever see Utah on the board here, maybe. We'll see. Maybe if we got to pick them against Oklahoma State, but that's
right.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Next one, Arizona State at Baylor. That should be a really good game. I'm looking forward to see how that one turns out. Arizona State, I haven't quite decided where they're at yet. I still think they're a pretty good team. But Baylor showed us something the last couple weeks, and I think that should be a really good game. But so with that, Baylor is playing at Baylor. I give the home team the nod. I'm going with Baylor.
I like it. Yeah, I'm with you, Dad. I think I like what I'm seeing out of Baylor the last couple of weeks. I think Auburn's a really good team, so that's a tough game to judge them on.
Yeah.
And I think their quarterback is just going to keep getting better as the year goes on. He got good towards the end of last season. So I'm going to go Baylor as well. Arizona State's still an unknown for me. Without Scadaboo, I just don't think they have much of an identity on offense. So give me Baylor.
Yeah, I think we're going across the board on that one. The Baylor's quarterback looks so good. They've played some good teams. They were getting a lot of even from me. They were getting a lot of criticism to start the year, and rightfully so. I mean, they got some high expectations over there, but I do think that they're starting to live up to those expectations now, and they're looking like they're coming into their own. So I got Baylor in that one.
Sweet. All right. Up next on the docket, we got West Virginia at Kansas. West Virginia got the win this week in the rivalry game against Pitt. Did Kansas play this week, or did they have a bye week? I can't remember seeing us Kansas score this week.
I believe they had a bye week as well.
So Kansas, I know they choked down at Missouri. They probably should have won that game. West Virginia looked good, but that was the first time. I still think Kansas in that new stadium. I'm going to go with Kansas on the home field.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like the home field advantage for Kansas. They looked really good against Missouri. Just some turnovers late in the game that kind of made that game get out of hand. West Virginia beating Pitt. I mean, it's a rivalry game. West Virginia hasn't looked that good outside of that game, so
no.
I'm leaning towards the home team as well.
So I'm actually going with West Virginia on this one. I think that a win, especially in a big rivalry game, can do one of two things. It can either tire you for the week after and you hit a lull, or it can project you forward. And I think that they're going to do the latter. I think that they're going to carry that momentum off of a big rivalry win this week and go to Kansas and win. So,
yep.
All right. There we go. With our top 25 matchup we're going with this week is Illinois at Indiana. That should be an interesting game. Haven't been able to watch either team play. However, here's maybe the good pollster bias, because Illinois is ranked higher and maybe they'll get crushed. But I'm going to go with Illinois because that's my gut with that one. I still not sure that Indiana is. I mean, they made improvements in their program, but it's still Indiana. Last year they were good, great, but it's still Indiana.
Yeah. I went back and forth on this quite a bit. Indiana hasn't played anyone yet either. Illinois has looked okay. They can score a lot on offense. Yeah, I think I'm just taking Illinois just because I don't think I've seen anything in Indiana, and they have crumbled in the big games last year. So I just don't think they're ready yet for that.
Full transparency, I don't know anything about either one of these teams. I've not watched them. This one was just kind of a shot in the dark for me. And so I'm going Indiana. Just that was the first thing that came to my mind. As terrible as that sounds, I don't know anything about either one of these teams.
Yeah, that's
well, so just a side commentary here in the middle of the Pick'ems. It's Big Ten play, but East Coast, do we really care? Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
The pollsters do, but we don't. All right, so underdog picks for this week. I've got a Boise State at Air Force game that I looked at, and I did watch Utah State and Air Force last night, and Utah State actually pretty good. Air Force moved the ball. They actually threw the ball pretty good. But Boise State has struggled with Air Force in the past, and my underdog pick is that Air Force is going to beat Boise State.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
I like it a lot. I'm going to, man, I've been going back and forth on a couple here.
All right.
So, yep. Sorry, Dad. I know you're a little behind, but so this week I'm gonna take Miami. I thought about I was gonna do Nebraska. So this is interesting. They're not necessarily the underdog, but I am gonna pick them to cover the spread. They're playing Florida. Florida's coming to Miami. Miami's a 3-point favorite, and after what I saw out of Miami against USF, and USF beat Florida, obviously, Florida's got a gauntlet of a schedule, and I just don't think they're going to, week after week, they can hold up. I think Miami's going to cover and win by way more than 3.
Yeah,
so,
no, I like
Miami
that pick
there.
a lot.
It's a good pick.
Florida's
Good
not
pick.
looking that great, honestly. They're not.
No, and it's not at home, and yeah.
For mine, Tulane at Ole Miss. I believe Ole Miss is a 13-point favorite, 13 to 15 point, depending on which books you look at. So Ole Miss is pretty heavily favored. I'm putting that Tulane covers that spread. I don't think that they come out and win. I think Ole Miss is a great team, but I'm somewhat rooting for my guy Jake. I've liked seeing him succeed over there and get some well-deserved praise. So I'm shooting him a little love and saying that he's going to play well against Ole Miss, but not quite get the win.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shout out to Jake.
Nice.
He's been playing well. So, okay, well, with that, we had, a little bit of discrepancy on tallies, but we've gone over it pretty well. So hit us with scores so far to this point, Jace.
Yeah, so total scores after taking into account last week's picks. Currently, we have Jace at 15 points, Gordon at 14 points, and Houston at 12 points. So really tight. Just a quick shout out to a couple of the games, or I guess we'll go through the games last week and people that voted. So it was 50-50 with the Houston, Colorado game. So that was kind of cool to see. That ended up being a lopsided game, but as far as the picks go, it was 50-50. The majority of our viewers voted Arizona against K-State. Just goes to show people are losing faith in K-State, rightfully so. They're not looking good at all. Miami, Florida against USF. I think everybody kind of knew USF's magic was going to run out there. They did not look good against Miami, so tough loss there. I was somewhat rooting for them, but I fell under the category as well that I just thought that they were going to run out of luck. So 68% of our watchers voted for Georgia against Tennessee. What a game that was! Heartbreaking for that kicker, honestly, to lose that way. So G again got a lot of love and likes for the covering the spread with New Mexico and UCLA.
Destroyed them.
Almost 20% chose New Mexico to win that game. So it was
brother.
Very heavily favored in UCLA's favor as far as the votes go. But there was 20% that chose New Mexico to win. So we got some ball knowledge people that follow us for sure.
I love it.
Most people chose Utah to win, rightfully so. We kind of knew they were going to win there. Not a lot of love for Wyoming for the spread or anything like that. That was kind of a botch for me. And then 62% chose Alabama to win over Wisconsin, and so had some good picks there. So our viewers are getting a lot of picks correct. Honestly, they're doing really good.
Yeah, no, that's
nice.
Awesome. We love it. Keep it up. Keep participating. We love it. I know I've heard from several people that that's one of their favorite parts of the show. So. Yeah. Keep it coming. We love the participation. Okay, well, not to add any more controversy, but we got head into our top 3 snake draft here since we had a tie. This will be from 2 weeks ago, so we took a break last week. And we had college football stadiums and atmospheres, and Jason and Dad came out on a tie. So we did a little coin toss right before the show, and Jace unfortunately has the number 1 spot again, which is going to be huge in this week's top 3, I think. So we're doing top 3 BYU quarterbacks of all time. So this can be from any era. And Jace will get to choose where he wants to go, and then Dad, you'll need to choose if you want to go second or third, and then we'll get going.
And I think you guys knew it was coming. I will 100% be choosing first.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you got that Kyle Whittingham mentality. You're going to kick us while we're down.
Yeah. And Dad, you going to take second or third?
I'm going to go third. I'll go third.
I like that move. I like that move a lot.
The two holes going to be tough here. So.
Okay, I think it's undisputed. I am going with the Heisman Trophy winner, Ty Detmer, for my number one pick. Just tough. And what's going to be interesting about these picks is a lot of the quarterbacks even that aren't Ty Detmer. Obviously, he seems to be the number one for BYU specifically, but there's other quarterbacks that had a lot more of a professional career that played really well. And so it'll be interesting to see how kind of people vote based on that, because not a whole lot of people just focused on BYU. There's some other big names out there that people might cater towards, but I don't think you can't not pick Ty as your first pick. So I'm going Ty Detmer.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if you didn't take him. So, okay, well, number two, I feel maybe I can get on the board this week. I think the clear number two, got to go lefty, Steve Young.
Yeah,
I think he's number two. Had a great NFL career. Had some awesome games at BYU. So yeah, shout out to number 8. I got Steve Young.
All right. Well, so with the twofer here at the third spot, there's going to be a little age bias on this one, so this might tank me a little. Gifford Nilsson.
Okay, he was on my list. That's good.
He and you might, so like I say, that was back in the day, but he did play in the pros. He played several years in the NFL. Set all kinds of pass records back in the day. But that's one of those that if you're not a true BYU fan, you're probably going, who in the heck is Gifford Nilsson?
I like it.
So that's out on the limb. But with my second pick going out, I think everybody knows this guy. I'm going to go with Jim McMahon.
Such a good pick.
He was not only great in college, but had a great NFL career. But, I know we're talking BYU, but he had some great wins at BYU. He was set all kinds of NCAA records while he was there. So Jim McMahon, number 2.
Great pick.
So now it opens up to a lot.
This is gonna get interesting. We got the
top 3 there. I think I got to go for my second pick. I got to go Taysom Hill, I think.
Oh, I like
it.
Pick.
Good pick. I like it.
Someone who didn't play a ton, honestly, with BYU, but has made such a big impact in pro. There is not a single player, in my opinion, in the history of the game that is like Taysom Hill. That is a freaking good pick. And how many highlights do we see of Taysom Hill over and over again? He just was outstanding. Yeah. Yep. Okay, this gets interesting. I got 2, correct?
Yep.
I got to go with the 1984 national championship winner, Robbie Bosco.
All right. Yeah.
I have to do that. And then I was up in the air between 2, but I'm going to go with the more well-known name. I'm going to go with Zach Wilson. Had a great BYU career. And then obviously the highest draft pick in BYU history, going number 2. And unfortunately went to the Jets because that's where quarterbacks go to die. But has been good over at the Broncos last year, and then he'll, in my opinion, see the field quite a bit in Miami this year. But great quarterback for BYU. Took us to a great season, and number 2 overall pick. So
I like it.
Nice.
Well, last I'm going to go. I think I got to go with my boy here. He's made such an impact on BYU football since his career here, but I got to take John Beck at the 3 spot.
So good.
John Beck. So I'm going to go with the quarterback that has actually won the most games at BYU, which most people don't know, Max Hall.
Yep. That was who I was teetering between Zach and Max.
Max Hall. Yep. He was a competitor.
Not only did he have the most score, but he has the most iconic clip that I will always share every single year. The most iconic interview regarding Utah. There's nothing better.
I don't like Utah. In fact, I hate them. I hate everything about them. I hate their program. I hate their fans. I hate everything. So
yeah,
that's true.
Go Max Hall.
All right. Yep. All right, Jason, read them out to us.
So Houston has Steve Young, Taysom Hill, and John Beck. That is a powerhouse pick there. Gordon, Gifford Nielsen, Jim McMahon, and Max Hall. I got to be honest, Gordon. I think Gifford's going to hurt you a little bit. Not too many people are going to know.
It's all
him.
Right.
But it's a good pick.
A stud back
it's a
in
good
the day.
pick for those, for the diehards.
They're going to know him as Elder Nielsen.
Yes, that's exactly right. They're going to go, Elder Nielsen played football? Yeah, he did.
And then I have Ty Detmer, Robbie Bosco, and Zach Wilson. So
good list too.
Gosh dang, we have some good quarterbacks at BYU. Oh my!
You know, we left the Sark off of that list. He was
a good one. Sark.
That's tough to leave Sarkisian off of there. And Tanner Mangum and
Jaron Hall. It's just fun to have that many to talk about.
I know.
And then even back to the 70s, Mark Wilson.
Mark Wilson.
He was third in the Heisman race. I mean, kind of put BYU on the national radar. Like the 70s and 80s were insane for BYU quarterbacks. Like insane.
Yeah,
that's true.
No.
So what a fun, that was a good pick. Good snake draft.
Love it. Okay, well, it's been a good pod, boys. Super excited for next week. And just thanks for everybody that's watching. Keep participating on Instagram and head over to YouTube and subscribe. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.
Yep. Go Cougs.
Awesome. Go Cougs.